Welcome to the Practicing Maker. On the ground of natural objects, the universal quantifier for all appears plausible. They are not self-contained, they do not have an explanation on them, an innate discourse, an inherent sign, no matter if they are animated or inanimated. Then there is a subject disposed to catch them for suitable description of the world. First, in rehearsing a tentative explanation on them. Second, by declaring a power over them. On the former, intellectual imposition, preferably epistemic, endows societies with tools to dismantle the incomprehension, but at the same time could search ideology, that is, the obstinacy to preserve a given form even when it is unfitted. On the latter, the politicographers determine which one will be prevalent by making decisions on economic distribution, principally to cover necessities like the pandemic disease COVID-19 show us, then by developing comfortable goods. Before going on, it is pivotal to clear up a no minor point. Our initial assertion, quote, on the ground of natural objects they are not self-contained, they do not have an explanation on them, an innate discourse, an inherent sign, unquote, takes part in a conceptual debate on realism and anti-realism in philosophy. Namely, the first paragraph of these episodes may be thought of as an anti-realist one out of the implicit premise that objects do not contain in themselves an epistemic ontology, which does not impede us from carrying out an argumentation up to the goal of simply declaring that any firm position under the current neuroscientific evidence is doctrinal and not founded in uncontroversial experiments. It could be additional that the mind-body problem, also recognized as the consciousness-brain debate, has quite a few sophisticated logical foundations on both sides. But, as an unchallengeable remark, the hypercomplex field is key. This concept differs from the treatment of assembly theory, a framework developed to quantify the complexity of molecules and objects by assessing the minimal number of steps required to assemble them from fundamental building blocks. Indicates that when investigating social events, the individual case is also included. The total or partial understanding depends on which fields are interacting, with a predominance on the system-brain consciousness. Let us hasten to add that although the lack of technicalities prevents us from diving in deeply, it is sufficient to find out how the human condition supplies reversal elements, while on one side by restricting the access to statements by methodological inadequacies prior to the decomposition of domestication habits in social cultural environments on the other side. For instance, on logic, Coleridge considered fitting a suitable approach built on different areas from poetry to theology, that is, a rational and multidisciplinary form to establish symbols and meaning. Others, Verbi Gracia, Beva looking at economy and religion, and Habermas thinking over the theory of communication, observe the secularization of society as a selfish compendium of capitalistic activities as part of the foundation of logic in social sciences. One more example. Suicide was seen by Freud as a psychological illness, while Durkheim saw it as a social problem of pressure by coercing people. On the flank of contingency, game theory and stochastic processes have put up explanation in economic context. Nonetheless, while they fertilize clarity in shadowy objects in fleshing out predictive patterns, plenty of debate erupted by disagreeing on dehumanization consequences of killing emotional interaction through technological development and implanting the notion of positive expectation that technology will solve any human problem. In traversing the argumentative shades of opinion and regarding carefully fatuous deeds from political and intellectual establishments going in raptures over amendments like an altruistic compendium of proven vigorous routines in mental health, a world distorted by the departure of emotional and rational wisdom has contrived exegetical setbacks and prostrated before a variety of non-epistemic vivacity, great cupidity, proving to exacerbate numerical gains, having bristled with trade traits the less critical sector of society, ignoring their counterproductive effects of such kind of behavior in the past. For the sake of cutting off any rippling extension on the matter, we won't quiz in the hurtling details circumscribed around the vicious cycle of repeating tireless causes and conditions, like a Fourier transformation without boundaries. Fortunately, Russell's theory of types granted us an alternative to solve it. We finally peer into the flippant efflorescence of liturgical connectivity to the Internet. Nevertheless, under such a fascination for the takeover of the attention of billions of users, in the economic model, which brusquely accentuates the transparency of getting money to build our human nature, it is not new and only a portion of the story in the last 10,000 years. Little by little, the infallible power of epistemic values diverts its own course. Swartzy navigates through ornamented paraphernalia of undue and shadowy lack of lofty dreams for the spirit of human beings. It may sound mawkish and an illegitimate son of an anti-realist posture, or some school akin to it. On account of not being unbecoming with the current narration, we will assuage by a moment a subtle examination. Bearing a strong resemblance to unduly improvement without getting appalled by any detrimental habit in human beings, even when it shows absurd behavior and having got remembrances of distant and near bygone millenniums, we are tempted to smear with our fidelity the unquestionable study of social, natural, and formal sciences, preserving identical attitude for philosophy, arts, technical, and technology as the only manner to rehearse compassion and wisdom in those with an extreme rational position on what it is better for humankind. Before we get off the issue in going over events in history and texts of eminent figures by their compromise with the benefits of humanity, it is rather quaint than intransigent the eloquence of the critical resistance that we ordain us by following the quest of writing off, though reluctantly, the fatidical resolution of not outstripping the intermittent materialistic and pragmatic panegyric for capitalization, even when it, multiplying selfish desires and cravings in society, hurts us psychically and bodily, disrespecting the political aspect of the situation, and surprising the role of epistemology and its object knowledge, together with the rest of disciplines and areas in the similar fields of wisdom, is not a solution. Thank you very much for joining us. We were with you. Script and voiceover, Juan Eduardo Reluz Machicote. Sound and image, Jessica Francesca Garcia. Direction, Griselida Reluz Chafloque. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found some valuable insights. Remember to stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop learning. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Cheers!